Namaskar and good afternoon, esteemed speakers, distinguished guests, dear friends. I feel humbled and honored to participate in the C20 conference. And I'd like to start on a personal note, sharing with you that this is my first time physically here in Mahabalipuram. But I traveled there in my imagination early in life. At 7, as an award of excellence at school, I received a book titled India, the Land of Gods. It was at this tender age that my love story with India started. And this book was also my first step on the spiritual journey of a lifetime. It was a photo album that I still have with me today, despite all the moves and tribulations of life. As a little girl, I remember contemplating the photos of Mahabalipuram shore temples with awe. Today, I feel as if destiny that had placed this book in my hands has been leading me here today, decades later, in the matrix of Hinduism that gave the world the Vasudeva Kutumbakam vision. Since the architects gave the Mahabalipuram monuments out of naturally occurring blocks of diorite and granite, the sanctuaries are a unique fusion of natural elements blending with the Hindu pantheon. The sculptures and bas-reliefs themselves evoke the omnipresent interactions of plants, animals, humans, and gods. It is this non-separation between the different kingdoms that fascinated me as a child, because I was growing up within a culture opposing inanimate versus animate, human versus other than human. The indivisible community of life, which is anonymously acknowledged today, has been masterfully illustrated long ago by Mahabalipuram artists. They regarded Mother Earth as a lively, conscious entity, the goddess Bhumi Devi. And similarly, the Ganges isn't just a river. The descent of Ganga is a cosmic event, and her waters are endowed with supernatural powers. In one unity, these reliefs illustrate the early Indic concept of the sublime continuity in all living things of the Earth family, or Vasudeva Kutumbakam, an intuition we are rediscovering in the 21st century thanks to the Indian G20 presidency that is elevating the 1,000-year-old vision of the ancient rishis to the level of the global leadership. And it's also aligned with the topic of my talk today, since Dr. Vikrantji asked me to speak about Vasudeva Kutumbakam in connection with Dharma and the righteousness that you call Ritam. Ritam stands for the immanent law of nature and the fundamental balance of the universe that should be sustained through appropriate rituals and behaviors. It lays outside of human control, and the Vedic gods are only Rita's guardians. They aren't its creators or controllers. Righteousness is deeper and more fundamental than the gods themselves, and in Vedic time, the path of Dharma includes Ritam as the natural law guiding human life combined with spiritual discipline. A historical example of governance based on Dharma and Ritam is Emperor Ashoka, who conducted a Vasudeva Kutumbakam-inspired policy extending his protection not merely to different people equally, but also to the great family of humans, beasts, birds, trees, plants. And he included, for instance, animals with humans as the beneficiaries of his programs for obtaining medicinal plants, planting trees, and digging wells. Therefore, it would be legitimate to consider Ashoka as a precursor, historically speaking, of the implementation of Vasudeva Kutumbakam for the common good. It's worth noticing also that Dharma is equated to Satya, the truth. The Brihadaranyaka Upanishad states that When one speaks the truth, one speaks the Dharma. And when one speaks the Dharma, one speaks the truth, for both are one. This connection of Dharma, Ritam, and Satya is most relevant in relation to Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and I propose to examine it in the light of the unparalleled legacy of Mahatma Gandhi. According to Gandhiji, Satya, or truth, is more than right opposed to wrong. It's the very essence of being. And since the truth of being is love, Gandhiji adds love to the triad of Dharma, Ritam, and Satya. Love in this perspective isn't restricted to sentimentality and the individual. It's envisioned as a collective force for social change and human evolution. Truth, love, and force are the basis of Gandhiji's Satyagraha, or in his own words, the force born of truth and love. And he made Satyagraha the backbone of his struggle against oppression and colonialism, regarding Satyagraha as a universal solvent for injustice and harm. Martin Luther King understood this very well when he translated Satyagraha as the strength to love, describing it as the unarmed truth and unconditional love that always have the final word. This is what I have been rendering by love force in today's language. To his opponents, claiming that there are no historical examples of the power of Satyagraha, Gandhiji used to reply that history doesn't take into account love force because it only records what blocks it or interrupts it. In his visionary book, Hind Swaraj, Gandhiji even goes so far as to say that without Satyagraha, our earth would have gone to ruin. According to him, if a world had its origin in war, there wouldn't be a single living human today. The basis of our life is therefore this force of love and truth. It's not the force of arms. This is an essential intuition of the Mahatma that I feel we need to contemplate regarding Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, for there can't be a nurse family without love, for the very simple reason that families can't exist without love. Similarly, the Earth family itself depends on love, because it's love only that keeps a family together. At our time of the sixth mass extinction in 2023, to survive as a species, we need to radically shift our mindset by integrating the strengths to love at all levels, individually and collectively. In the 3.5 billion years of life evolution, this represents a new cognitive step. I put a lot of thought into how to achieve this evolutionary leap, and the outcome is the Be the Love protocol I created, integrating meditation, neuroscience, biology, deep ecology, and the 17 SDGs. I often wonder what Gandhiji would do or say if he lived in today's world. And it came to my mind, he might rather say, be the love you want to see in the world than be the change. Because today, love is the real force to make change a reality. Today, experts know all the solutions, and all the resources to fix the problems at the planet scale are available. But we lack the will to act individually and collectively. Why? Because we aren't guided by the power of love. It has been lost to the power of profit in the commodification of the world that keeps going on. Gandhiji used to say that if he had with him 100 satyagrahins, he would liberate India within 24 hours. So what if in this room we were all satyagrahins or love force leaders? It would be the rise of our real humanity, because as humans, we weren't born to exploit others and to destroy Mother Earth. We were born to channel the cosmic energies of conscience and transform our life force into love force. We were born to care for one another and for all life forms. Mahatma Gandhi rightly observed that the materialistic civilization is a civilization that de-civilizes. We need to re-civilize our world by giving centrality to the normative of consciousness and love in public discourse, global leadership, and action. Under the overarching principle of universal responsibility that lays the foundation of an ethics of care and mutuality. At the request of His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, I wrote the Charter of Universal Responsibility that has been selected by the UNESCO Peace Programs. It acknowledges that to safeguard human rights, we need to respect the rights of Mother Earth. And to conclude, I'd like to share my wish to create an international team of young global leaders and their elders to rethink and rewrite the Universal Declaration of Human Rights of 1948. Acknowledging that as human beings, we are endowed not only with reason and conscience, but also with love. And this updated Universal Declaration would also include the rights of Mother Earth, according to the great principle of Vasudeva Kutumbakam. It's my conviction that this would open new pathways of consciousness and love for the world, supporting the implementation of the 17 SDGs. I have no doubt that time for love is now for the Earth family. And I see the G20, C20 Indian presidency as a golden portal to a new loving humanity on a new loving Earth. Thank you for your kind attention.